Welcome. This is Y254, your favorite youth station that you love, the best entertainment that you receive from here. And right now it's time for entertainment for the news discussion tonight. My name is Ram Aguko. You can find us on social media at Ram Aguko and at Y254 channel on Twitter and Y254 on Facebook. The hashtag is Y254 updates. Tonight it is a Monday and it's all about the state of Nairobi County. But tonight we're not just talking about Nairobi County as a whole, but Nairobi County in terms of sanitation. And now we are wondering and asking the question, that can the sanitation of the county that is within Nairobi be improved? Can the sanitation of the county be improved? 22162 is our number, starting with the word Y News. 22162, starting with Y News. Ensure that you give us your opinion and your comments concerning this discussion tonight. Can the sanitation be improved? At Twitter, on Twitter, that is at Ram Aguko, at Y254 channel on Twitter, at Y254 on Facebook, the hashtag Y254 updates. In studio, I'm not alone, but I'm joined with a very able panel. On my left is Sarah Munyi, who is the one that you know, who is change management consultant. Next to him is Gakondu Jr., who is counselor, and Daniel Arogo, who is a political analyst. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know your name, Gakondu. There is a road in Nairobi called Kagundo.
I should it,
But first things first, yeah? Welcome to Y254. It's time to talk about the sanitation of Nairobi County. Do you think that we are heading in the right direction in terms of cleanliness as a county?
Thank you, Ram. I think something is being done by the starting by the governor, and this has been done before. Nairobi has been clean before. Let's even talk about the Nairobi River. It has been done before, it has been clean before, it can be done again. And because the situation right now, you know, a lot is being done, we know that. But if you go to the streets right now, even here in the city, which is like the most metropolis part of the city, the CBD, you find sewage, you find, you know, very dirty things, back streets, you know, there's some very dirty things there. So I think if we are doing something, but we are moving very, very slowly. If we are really going to make Nairobi the hub, is really the economic hub of East Africa, and we're really going to improve our city in terms of cleanliness and sanitation, we need to start right with the CBD, where everyone comes. When we are having these big meetings, like when we are hosting Obama and all these big meetings at the conferences, they come to the metropolis. That is the CBD. They'll come to KICC, these places. Can we start with that place? So I think something is being done, but more needs to be done. Yes.
Now, Kagundu.
Kagundu, yes.
Tell us, what do you think? Are we in the right direction when it comes to sanitation?
Yeah, I'll echo her words. Something is being done, but the pace, it's a bit slow, snail pace. And we have a lot of talks back at the city, and but I feel more should be done. We're doing a lot of publicity, you know, doing photos, posting them on the social media, saying that we're doing ABCD. But when you go to the ground, it's contrary to that. Well, I feel our governor, he's doing something, but he can do more. Yeah.
He's doing something, but can do more.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Absolutely no. I think there is a lot of PR in this exercise.
Yeah.
There is a bid to do a plan called Nairobi Regeneration Plan, and you see, you know, it's a huge thing happening in this city. One of the things that you look at the seriousness of the county government and the CEE who is in charge of that docket. There's been a lot of populist and roadside declaration in terms of making Nairobi city or Nairobi county better. But action still remain an illusion thing. One of the things that probably you'd see is when the governor was put into task of explaining why garbage was choking the city, he said that it was a dramatic effort to paint him in a wrong way, as somebody who has inherited the system that is not working. So I really keep on saying that not until plans are put forward and they're drafted in the Nairobi City County, and that is the 5-year plan, the development plan, that gives us a point of beginning to initiate sanitation programs that are within the line of the planning and within the line of budgeting. Otherwise, public exercise and PR, taking selfies or cleaning a place, coming up with populist declarations of offering a free sanitary services, free toiletry services to the city without plan, is actually leading this country to a disaster, and this county to a disaster as well. That's why I say there's lack of seriousness.
Okay. Now, there is a couple of things that you have mentioned that makes me want to ask a lot of questions. But let's put into perspective that 1.7 billion Kenya shillings is lost every year because of the state of poor sanitation within the country. And this amount of money is not just money that is found anywhere, but taxpayers' money. It is a state of worry because December last year, Mike Sonko pledged to prioritize infrastructure development in 17 sub-counties within Nairobi, and in the next fiscal year, that was his plan. You've mentioned things to do with the toilet. Now, there are stakeholders that are involved when it comes to the toilet. If we start with the aspect of job, do you think that we are actually creating more jobs, or we are actually removing people and taking them into joblessness when you remove them from now giving the kind of businesses that they, because people used to pay. It used to, we used to pay to get to the toilets. There are Kenyans who receive this kind of information with a lot of joy, but some refused it. What do you say?
I think that's for me it was, I was shocked actually, because it has taken a lot. There are people who are doing it, that was their livelihood, and they would do it very dutifully. So I think when we say that these amenities are now free and people start abusing them, and then we can't go and visit, then we go back to where we've come from. So I think we are taking jobs from there. I don't know what kind of intel or wisdom was used in to come up with that decision, but I think it's really taking jobs away from people. And then also there's, because when we say they are free, who takes care of them? Who washes? Or who actually takes care of those amenities, because they need a lot of care.
Well, the county said that they are going to, that they gave people the small period to manage the toilets, and now they have taken it back because it belongs to the county, and they were given 48 hours. That was as of yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
As of yesterday,
Yes.
to move from that place and move on. People complained. Is it fair?
If today, I'm sorry,
Sorry, it's okay.
yeah, today if you go, let me tell you, if you go to, and I'm sorry to say, if you go to, maybe you're having something at the city council, just here at the city council in Nairobi, the city hall, and you happen to go to the toilet, maybe you feel you need to help yourself, and you happen to visit that office, you'll be sorry that you went there. You'll be very sorry to say that you went there. And they're the same people who are cleaning. So if now they can't just take care of their customers, their daily customers, you go there and you don't want to go there again. If you can't take care of your daily customer, how much more the people in the streets, they're everyone who is going there. So I think I'm waiting with a little bit of, I don't really trust that they're going to do a good job, but I'm also opening my eye to see what they will do. But for me, I don't have much faith in what they're saying.
Yeah, it's a concern when you talk about when you visit those offices at the county office, and you find there's a lot of publicity PR, just like we're saying. They are just saying things or coming up with plans or ideas to make them popular. So my concern is, if we can keep the city clean with a smaller number, and we are adding more duties to these people in terms of cleaning those toilets, I think that's a concern.
Now you've mentioned something here repeatedly. PR.
Yeah.
That they are taking a lot of selfies and doing no work. Isn't that just pointing a finger, because you cannot take a selfie when you're doing nothing?
For me, I don't think that I would say it's too much PR, because actually we can see the work. I visited Wakulima Market, and I think that's where I think it has been cleaned in the last few months. And before before I think the county government went there, I was even wondering how our people going to the market, how they accessed it at all. The mud, the trash, everything. I don't know how they were accessing that place. But I went there about a month ago, and I say, wow, amazing. I even bought some stuff there. So I cannot say that they are selfies for nothing. I think something has been done, and they're trying to show it that we cannot clean this in a day, please, not even in a year. But so little by little, something is being done.
Which I sharply object. Now, every time the Treasury allocates a county the money that is channeled to run sanitation of a capital city, and that runs into millions of shillings, it is expected that service is delivered in whichever way, regardless of the time it takes. So I'd say that why I said very clearly here, what we are being treated to is not what is at best of the interest of the county city, because rightfully put, the Treasury and the national government has allocated money running into millions of shillings, allocated through and to run the county development plan for 5 years. And this should start now. Now what I'm saying is a battle to draw a line between the former and the incoming. I think those wars should now be over. In any blame game that a service is not delivered because my predecessor did not do one or two things, it's a song that we shouldn't sing. Now, cleaning Wakulima Market, it's not a cleaning exercise. It should be a holistic approach to cleaning and providing sanitation for those who are there. So 1 month and going there to clean because somebody has exposed that over social media or some complaints have been raised somewhere, and you run there to clean. Anywhere, not only Wakulima Market, anywhere in this city. I am really asking that for the first time, we get serious to the matters of management of the county. The governor has got a number of CAs who he says, while he plays politics, these are technocrats who can run and do the work as he runs up and down to do his politics. He said that in his debate. And we also see that one of his deputies, the former, who was bequeathed with the duty of running an executive, he said he would do that. For him, he'd be running up and down to welcome 1 or 2 visitors here and there. Right now, what Nairobi residents require, this is a capital hub, the way he said, the East African hub. And in between here, we are having a number of investors talking about the president of Switzerland that is right now in the city. You know, Alain Button now is in the city. And one of the things we are looking for, there are dignitaries flowing in the capital each and every time. And the report that we are getting and they are going back with should be very important insofar as sanitation matters are concerned, insofar as other service delivery is concerned. So this is why I insist, and very hard when it comes to service delivery, because there is a lot of catwalking, there's a lot of stories when it comes to matters of giving the city residents
what do you mean by
service delivery. You know, and this is why I'm saying there is a pause to look so beautiful and to look so like you are into action when you're doing the opposite.
It's like a beauty pageant.
It's like a beauty pageant. Like that's why I keep on you pause for selfies, I've did this and I've done that. When it's right effect, when you go check back in what let's be very honest, panelists. Nairobi City is on a purge and is on being the end of being choked by garbage. It's not properly done. As much as something is being done, but it's more reactionary as opposed to being proactive.
But now let me put into perspective that research was done in February this year that Nairobi is a city that is drowning in garbage. In 1996, now the country found out that the legal dumping site, that was Dandora, was declared full. Nairobi as a county gives out 2,000 plus tons of garbage. And this garbage is taken to Dandora, which was declared full in 1996. Now, Mike Sonko a while back said that they want to make Dandora to become a site that is a recycling plant. Do you think this is possible? Changing Dandora to become as a recycling plant, taking note that Dandora, the location they tried to relocate the dumping site from Dandora to Ruai. Even the former governor, Kidero, tried to do that, but he failed. Will Sonko manage to do this? And not just Sonko. Are Kenyans capable of changing their lifestyle in order to also accept the fact that the dumping site should be changed? There's a lot of things to be talked about.
I don't think we can say that Sonko will not do it because the former governor didn't do it. It is very possible.
Right.
Everything needs commitment. Everything needs focus. What you focus on thrives and grows. And I think I've seen concerted effort by our current governor on he's been very up to that conversation of having a recycling plant, because actually that's what has been done in other cities across Africa, other cities where there's very good sanitation and cleanliness. That's what has been done. A recycling plant is what is going to solve this mess. Because relocating it will not, because what if it gets filled in about 5 years? We relocate it to where? To Kikuyu or to where? I think relocation will not solve this. What will solve this is a recycling plant. Now that conversation, we have been toying with it for a long time. Now I think it's time for action. If really we are going to win this battle of sanitation, we have to act quickly on the recycling plant.
It makes me wonder whether residents of Dandora are also tired of that kind of garbage that is there.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. I think it's so tiresome. I think you don't even, let me tell you, I think you even get stressed. You don't even want to tell people that I stay in Dandora. You know, when you go up country, I come from Kenya. When I go up country, and people know that that's why we have the dumping site in Nairobi. You don't want to tell people you come from Dandora. So I think even for them, it has been, let me say this, it has created a lot of employment for some young people there. There are some people I know making a lot of money, you know, with the plastics and everything. But I don't think it's something they are very proud of. To have is, you know, something that you neighbor. It's not a proud thing. Yeah, so I think a recycling plant will help us because we'll be able to generate even more employment in other ways.
Tell me what you think about this. Can Dandora be transformed?
Yeah, it can, although with a lot of talking without action. I feel if we're able to invest in such a plan, it will be good. Because this garbage is still piling up, and time from again, we're having more and more garbage. But I also feel, as Kenyans, we also have an issue. Because when we talk about the city, and we're having heaps of garbage, I feel we should be responsible in terms of where we dispose. There's a lot of illegal disposal sites whereby the Kenyans are not accountable, yet we're blaming the county government, the government, that they are not doing their work. So I feel it starts with me. The business people around the city, there are better places, or there are better ways of disposing this garbage.
To answer to his SMS line, starting with the word Y News, what do you think? Is the county of Nairobi capable of achieving proper sanitation? What do you think? To answer to his SMS line, start with the word Y News. On Twitter at Y254 channel, on Facebook Y254, Twitter at Ram Aguko. The hashtag is Y254 updates. Let's move on to another thing. Sewage.
We all want to cry. we live with it.
Everybody's tiptoeing whenever you're walking.
Wow. When it rains, my God, it is hell in Nairobi.
It is.
Is it because of the improper sanitation that we have? The dumping sites, what is happening? Daniel?
I also tend to think that one of the things that we should radically do is to begin to decongest the county.
How?
We have a devolved system of government. And the devolved system of government has returned back jobs to our rural areas. So I think one of the campaigns that the national government and the county government should do is to begin to make the counties attractive.
Sure.
That there is jobs for young people to go back, or there is jobs for the retirees to go back and offer consultancy to those counties. So that in Nairobi we begin to decongest. Know that rural-urban migration is one of the causes of this influx that we are seeing. The other one is to blame on the management and the governance of the county, because why, when it comes to the design, when it comes to designing Nairobi and actually putting up infrastructure, you could actually see that some of these sewer systems were not really properly coordinated and directed in a manner that should actually empty so properly. And that is why when it just rains, you know, there's a temptation that they become clogged, and you see sewage even in the roads. And you know, like my colleagues are saying, people are tiptoeing as they walk, you know, finding safe places to walk on. So I think that is one of the measures that probably we would begin to rethink how we do the urban-rural migration to make people go back to offer services to the county and decongest the city. One of the things that I also think is that it's actually, when it comes to matters of sanitizing, when it comes to matters of, you see, Article 43 of the Constitution guarantees that there are those rights that, you know, are there for the citizens. And one of the rights that is mentioned there is the right of proper sanitation for all residents of all the citizens of Kenya. But then our Constitution is devoid of proper action. Our county government acts is devoid of proper action insofar as fulfilling that is concerned. So this is why when our president is coming with a noble plan of agenda, the big four agenda, especially in housing, I think one of the things that he would actually begin to think, how do we design houses in line with the proper design, in line with proper engineering, so that issues of sewerage, issues of sanitation would actually be dealt with.
Now, the issue of sewage also affects the toilets. So it makes us wonder whether having a free toilet is actually hygienic to our ladies, to our queens outside there who are staying in Nairobi, because when they go to these free public toilets, they may get some problems because of the improper hygiene that is there.
It will also affect us, excuse me, it will also affect us men, because in one way or the other we also interact with the ladies, and that means if there's any infection, we also get it. But then, what you're saying is so true, that we don't have enough infrastructures, and maybe the city, the population is too high. But I feel before we implement and decongest the city, what can we do with the infrastructure that we have? Yes, we have the clogged sewer systems, the drainage systems, but we as Kenyans, we also have an issue. I look at when using the PSV, and somebody has drank his soft soda, his soft drink, and they throw their bottle outside, out of the window, and this is what gets into these drainage systems, blocking these drainage systems. So I feel we should borrow from our brothers and sisters across the world. We have Umuganda culture in Rwanda, whereby everybody participates in the cleanup. But here it's quite rare to find people participating, keeping their city clean, disposing their their garbage in the right manner. So I feel we also have a long way to go, and we should also be participatory as far as this is concerned.
Well, for me, I don't think it's a problem of overpopulation in the county. I really don't think that is the issue. Yes, because this has been done before. As I said, we were able to deal with sewage at some point. You remember during Michoke's time, the city, during the Nairobi River was very clean, such that mud fish had come back. Mud fish and water beetles, I think, and they only, you know, you'd only find them in very clean water environments. They had come back to the city. That means we had been able to deal with the sewerage issue, that, you know, the sewer lines that were going to the river. We were able to deal with them. I think it is an inaction issue. It is not about the population of the. Right now we're about how many? 4 million or 5. That is not a very big population. We can deal with it. It's just about you know, even relooking into the sewer pipe, you know, the sewer system, the pipeline. When was the last time? I think these things were installed from 1960s. I think I saw a report somewhere, they have never been changed.
Since the 1960s?
They have never, yes, since they were first, you know, put in place. So I think there's a, we need to relook into how, let me tell you something. I used to work in Westlands some 2 or 3 years back. And every Monday, there used to be, just near, and it's some very big buildings there. There's even a supermarket there, a very busy place. Every Monday you find this sewer running everywhere. And that's an upmarket area. And then after about 2 days is when we find the people from maybe Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company. You find them there, the engineers, and then they sort it out. But every Monday. So I think there's a lot of what will I say, zime katika sana. They need to be repaired. We need to look at that whole system, all those pipes, that whole system, county-wise. Because there are so many places where you find it's running, sewage is running, because these pipes are being broken every other time. They've never been relooked. We need to look at that. We need to put every infrastructure. We need to allocate money into that will go into servicing these pipes, and not even just servicing. If we can have an overhaul of that sewerage system, I think that is what will solve it. Otherwise, we'll have every Monday we'll be having, sewer breaking, imagine Westlands. I was saying this is an upmarket area, for God's sake. And you find anyone who wants to invest. Have you seen the kind of buildings that have been put up there? Delta, these big companies, they're coming there. These big banks from GE, everyone, international companies, they're coming to such places. When they find it's not clean, then that's how now we say that we are losing that, how many billions of money?
1.7 billion.
Yes, annually. That's how we come to those kind of figures, and it's not good at all.
And talking about the sewer lines and the pipes, you find somebody who is in the right state of the mind directing their pipes into the river. Is that right? It's not. When we talk about
when they reconstruct the buildings.
The buildings, exactly. The guys who do the digester, they also go deposit in there. So I feel we have a long way to go as Kenyans. We need to be proactive and also participate as far as cleaning the city is concerned.
Well, talking about participation, there is one thing that the governor is trying to put.
Yes.
This weekend, we had a cleanup exercise.
The first Saturday of every month.
First Saturday of every month.
Yes.
Is this what?
These things are telling you, they're not sustainable. Every time.
Then what is
including.
To disagree.
Including. These are not sustainable things. We come up with the cleanup every first Saturday of the month. Yes. Then what happens? Then, if you
public participation.
Then what?
I feel
public. Well, how will it work? I'll tell you something. Again, my sisters just mentioned. The reason as to why Michuki wasn't successful is this kind of things that I told you. Somebody is coming up with a directive,
but
a very noble directive. But then, if he was successful, that could be driven until now. Somebody could have owned that philosophy and go with it until now. And that's why I'm telling you, the initiatives that are personally and abruptly driven or abruptly taken over might not be sustainable if they're not anchored in the plans of the city, are not anchored in the laws of the city. And that is why, anywhere, we might have good people, we might have good manifestos, but people live, people die. Who owns those initiatives to sustain them? They're not there. And that is why we are praising Michuki with this kind of good environmental initiative, good infrastructure initiatives. We are only saying that when he was there, not because somebody else is owing these. I am telling you, this every cleanup is a roadside declaration. People will do it once, third month, fourth time, it's not there again.
All right.
The president himself actually said that there is an initiative. I think the first time in the early years of his regime, he was in Madare, right? He went for a cleanup. He said there will always be a yearly cleanup. Is it there or not? This is a question that is thrown up to you. Was it on? Was it a process that the citizens own? Or that is a question that I put in the panel.
I have a concern with that. And when we talk about the president, the governor initiating such programs, it's up to us, the Nairobians, the people in the city. When we talk about the country, it's made up of the counties. The counties are made up of the wards or maybe the constituencies, and those constituencies are made up of families. The families, that's where we start off. Where we come from, the family, how do we dispose our litter or our garbage? Is it in the right way? Then dispose our